Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today is part 2 of You Have Asked My Spirit Guides, my political spirit guides, political questions, and they're going to answer them. So thank you so much for submitting your questions. I really appreciate it. And hey, thank you so much for viewing this video. Thanks for going on this journey through political roller coaster, really bad theme park land with me, right? And this is why I do these videos, to hopefully give us a heads up, to help us maybe understand a little bit better why people are doing certain things, the energy behind their actions, the energy behind everybody's, the influence of the energy around everyone, and the potential outcomes. Of course, everybody has free will, but the spirit guides have been pretty accurate in general about things that they've predicted. But let's go forward. Let's dive into your political questions and let's see what we can see here. All right. First of all, we have Trudy Campbell wants to know, will any of the coup defendants get a get out of jail free card in the Fani Willis court proceedings? Will any of the coup defendants get a get out of jail free card in the Fani Willis court proceedings? Yes, but it's complicated. So there are 30 unindicted co-conspirators or 30 unindicted people, whatever you want to call them. Listen, guys, I'm channeling this. I know it doesn't look like it, but 60% of what I say is from my spirit guides and 40% is Susan trying to say, what the heck are you talking about? And all that gets mixed up and spit out in words. So whatever those 30 unindicted people are, this is a much bigger question than you realize, right? Because we're talking probably 40 people that I need to go through their energy and figure out what they might do. But yes, overall, I do see Fani Willis. It's like she has a card to play. This could be right. This is why they made me pick up a card, because you asked the question, will there be anybody that gets a get out of jail free card? Isn't that what you asked? That's what you asked. So they made me pick up a card. I feel like, yes, she pulls this card out of her briefcase, out of a package, whatever. Yeah, I'm going to offer you. I see her saying, as it turns out, I do have a card. I have one left, right? One left, get out of free jail card. And she's holding that. She's very cagey. She's a very, I mean, we know this, right? We know she's professional. We know she's brilliant. We know that she's a 5D chess player. We know this. She's always many steps ahead of everybody, of the judge, of the prosecutor, of everybody, of her own employees. So she does have this kind of in her pocket, and she doesn't even want to play it. In other words, she doesn't have to play it. This is not something she has to play. But she has, and we've talked about this before, she has contingency plans for her contingency plans. Backup plans. And they're completely filled out, vetted plans. They're not just Hail Marys. They're complete packages, programs. When we switch to plan B, it's a complete system. When we switch to plan M, it's a complete system. It's not, well, then we throw a Hail Mary pass. It's not that. So yes, somebody's going to get this. I can't, I don't know if I want to tell you. There's some energy around me not telling you. So I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you who gets it. And I don't even know that person is going to get it, but apparently this is sensitive and this is inner. This is, I've told you guys before, certain people, like, I've said this a lot, actually, people should block. When you go to work and you're thinking in your head and it's emanating out of your energy that I'm going to apply for that position. Well, anybody that wants to have any intuitive ability, is going to get that message from you. So we don't always want to broadcast what we're doing. We want to kind of keep it close to our chest or under some sort of wrap. Okay. So generally speaking, Fani Willis is not readable. She doesn't broadcast her inner doings. So the fact that I picked up on this, I just want to honor if she's being more open to me or whatever's happening, or if I'm getting duped, because they can send out, erroneous information, right? I mean, wouldn't you want to project that you're going for this job and then surprise everybody by going for this job, right? Why should we telegraph what we're doing? It's not helpful sometimes, right? So I'm not going to say, because I'm not sure if I'm getting duped or if she really is going to, but I do know that she has the card. I see the card. The card is there. She will, some people, maybe even more than one, will get a get out of jail free card. But you better believe that they will have given her something that she needs, not something that's useful. I've told you guys this many times. I just see her going like this. Yeah. And this is with like Rudy Giuliani, like, yes, okay, sure, you've got this information on this person. Next, like she's bored. She's 5 steps ahead of him. She's got more information than he even knows. But what he's doing by trying to sell whatever he's got to sell, to barter, to get a better deal, he's simply adding more certainty to the stuff that she already knows. So yes, some people will get out of free jail cards. I hear the word travesty, which is what they say sometimes when I go to the end of a process, the end of a punishment, the end of a court date, whatever you want to call it. And I hear some people say, why did she give him immunity? Why did he give her immunity? Travesty, like people say, it's a travesty of justice. So some of y'all might think that this was a bad deal. Some of y'all might think that she shouldn't have done it. I would say to you, ain't none of us as smart as Fani Willis. So I would be a little bit slow to judge something that she gives somebody. Again, just because you're seeing the publication, the news reporting that this deal was made, you don't know these 10 other deals that are in the works. You don't know what she got in return. You're not going to know that part. So that's interesting, right? She's working some deals, but for the most part, no one has impressed her. Like, again, she's like, yeah, what else do you got? Like, she's just been listening to these people try to make deals. And she's like, this is nothing. Like, this is kindergarten. I'm like so far ahead of you, right? Because she's seeing the bigger picture. And the Rudy Giulianis are seeing their small connection to Trump, or their small connection to this person. She's seeing the whole network. And I'm telling you, the whole network goes beyond the United States of America. Okay? So that's why she's bored. She's just like, for the love of God, shut up. That's what she's saying. I swear. And she might even actually be doing this, just like, why do I have to do this? But she wanted to be the one to depose, is the word I'm getting, these particular people. She wanted, for whatever reason, she needed to be in the room with their energy. So let's move on. The guides will talk forever. I swear to you, they will talk forever. You guys know this. You've already seen it yourselves. Okay, let's move on. Cheryl Gallagher says, what can be done with the corrupt judges ruling our highest courts? Again, immediately the guides show me dark money. I'm seeing, wow, how did I get that all of a sudden? I got, wow. Okay, so I know not only got money, I mean, all of a sudden they just showed me a whole movie. And the movie is kind of cloak and dagger, if you will, because I see these packages. And honestly, I see, what is that? Come on, you can do it. When you have a ambassador, ambassadors have privileges. They can take things into your country that are not searched, that are privileged, right? So ambassadors are a great way, unfortunately, to transfer ill-begotten things. Okay, so I just saw ambassadors bringing things to a high court, not only the Supreme Court, because your question is our highest courts, plural. You're not talking about our highest court, which is Supreme Court. You're talking about our highest courts, plural. So I just saw all kinds of things. I mean, I saw, I for entertainment purposes only, but I saw sex trafficking, money laundering, real estate deals, backroom deals, dark money, corruption to the highest degree. Like, I've never seen any of this. I had no idea this was going on. Holy cow. I had no idea that this is new. So your question is, what's going to be done with these corrupt judges? Well, wow. Well, we're looking at 5 years, 6 years, because this, you're probably going to hear me say this again in the video. The spirit guides said this before a lot. My guides tend to predict like 3-4 months in advance. Usually you can go back and watch the spirit guides answer your political questions from 3 or 4 months ago, and whatever I was answering is kind of coming to fruition now for whatever reason. So 3 or 4 months ago, the guides kept saying the cure cannot kill the patient. The cure cannot kill the patient, meaning the cure of our problems here in the United States and anywhere else in the world, right? I mean, it says anywhere you have corruption, we have to be a little careful. There are people like me, like Susan, that wants to just cut it out. Like, let's take all our medicine at once. Let's get this done. I don't like this slow pace, but it's really important. And there's lots, this moniker, this thing that they're saying, is it applicable to every part of what's going on in our world, and especially in the United States? We can't, that's not the right word. It wouldn't be prudent for the DOJ to go after Boebert and MTG and Gates and Biggs and Jordan and blah, blah, blah. It wouldn't be prudent for them to go after all these people and bring them all down and cut out, it's sort of like you cut out the cancer in the body, but you didn't realize that the cancer was looped into the blood flow. It became an organ of its own. The blood was flowing through it and out of it. When you cut it out, well, now you're bleeding to death. You've got to fix it. You've got to repair it. So in this case, especially with the courts, for us to go in and clean it out would destabilize our democracy. Now, you might say, Susan might say, and look, maybe this is why I play the role I play, because I argue with the spirit guides. I really do, because I mean, yeah, I'm just a human. I have very limited knowledge or limited understanding of what's going on. But as a psychic, I now have much bigger understanding of what's going on. And I guess what I would say is that I like to be your mouthpiece, the people's mouthpiece. Like, the people are like, hey, if it's cancer, cut it out, right? Cut it out. But oftentimes, don't we choose to have chemotherapy to reduce it? And doesn't that process take months and sometimes a year before they even get around to doing surgery? So we're in this process, right, of reducing, of what I see they're doing on the down low. Again, I'm again in this energy of what's happening beneath the surface. So I have to be a little bit careful about what I say. But what it seems that they're doing is they're cutting off the blood flow. What does that represent? They're cutting off the money. They're cutting off the drugs. They're cutting off the real estate deals. They're cutting off the sex trafficking. So they're cutting off the flow to these judges. They're also showing me another analogy, which is when they cut off the flow of illegal drugs by capturing these big shipments of illegal drugs. Well, all of a sudden, the people who sell those illegal drugs have less drugs to sell, right? They're cutting off the flow. So right now, what they're doing is they're cutting off the flow. And when I do this, I'm actually seeing East and West Coast. That means to me, East and West globally, from China, from, Russia, from other sides of the, the Asian, whatever, different parts of the globe is what they're showing me. So this also means that this is coming from multiple parts of the globe, not just all Russia or all Saudi Arabia or all China or all Colombia or South America. It doesn't matter. It's coming from everywhere. So that's illustrative too, right? This grift, it's really sad. It's kind of overwhelming me at the moment to think about this, because I wouldn't say to you that our justice system is a complete failure. I wouldn't say that, because it's actually operating right now. It's sick. The justice system is sick. It's unwell. They just said it's on life support. That's worse than I thought. I was trying to kind of give you guys a positive outlook somewhere, but the guys just said it's on life support. So as they cut the flow, what they're doing is the reduced flow is now easier to monitor, because there's not 50, things coming at once. Maybe there's 5. Well, 5 is a lot easier to monitor. And then you can co-opt 3 of those. You can flip those to be state witnesses, or you can put a plant in there, whatever. So now it's manageable. Now we're getting to a point now, I'm going to say in 24, the DOJ is getting to a point where now they can manage the information. They want to call it information, but I would call it sex, drugs, and, money laundering. That's what I would call it. I don't know why they're calling it information. I don't know. I'm not going to get into all that. It's like now they're showing me bits, BITS, like ones and zeros, data through a computer. They're showing me that information. I don't know. Maybe I'll figure it out when I'm not connected. But anyway, so the bottom line is they said 5 or 6 years. And this needs to happen slowly. So for instance, maybe 2 judges get indicted and convicted. And the point is, and this is the same energy. It's the same energy. It's the same thing they keep telling you guys about in the last video. They said, what happens when the principal walks into the room and everybody sits up straight? That's what they're saying with Congress. Indict, convict a couple of these Congress people, 5 or 6, even 8, maybe. And then everybody else is going to mind their P's and Q's. They're going to start acting right. Same thing with these judges. The DOJ does not want, this is what they're telling me, and you know what I'm going to tell you. When you disagree with me, you can disagree with the guides, the spirit guides, and you can call 1-800-SPIRIT GUIDES, press 1 for complaints. Pro tip, it's busy nonstop. My point is that this is what they're telling me. I don't agree with any of this, pretty much. However, it is not their goal. It is not their stated goal to indict and convict every crooked judge. That infuriates the human part of this collaboration. However, it is not their goal. Their goal is to indict and convict the worst ones. Let them be a really good example that you're next. Either stop doing this, clean up your act, or we'll indict you too. So in this way, and it's the same thing with Congress, Not all of these MAGA, not all of these people are going to get indicted, but they're going to indict enough of them to send a message. Again, what do we say? The cure should not kill the patient. If we indict 50 judges across the United States, including, say, 3 Supreme Court judges, and I mean indict, take them to court before a jury of their peers, make them a commoner, put them on the witness stand, it would destabilize. It would destabilize everything, because then you would have a plethora of lawsuits with people saying, I was before this judge, and now this judge is a crooked crook. I want my case retried. Y'all, we can't even try the cases we have. Just imagine. The cure should not kill the patient. Okay. So that's how they're dealing with this. I do feel, and I know without a shadow of a doubt, the guides are telling me, you will see big time judges get indicted and be convicted and be removed from court and be thrown in jail. You're going to see this, but this is going to create a lot of havoc, because at the same time, you're pretty much going to see these Congress people being indicted and be convicted and be jailed. So you're going to see they're just showing me really rough seas. Really rough seas. Now, we're not even talking about indicting and convicting all the crooks. We're just skimming the bad crooks off the top and indicting and convicting them. And even just that is going to cause a lot of civil unrest in the United States of America. It's going to activate, it's going to activate these bad seeds. They're going to go berserk. And then we have to deal with that, right? So we can't, even indicting and convicting, say, 25 total judges, police officers, or FBI agents and Congress people and Secret Service people, aggregate, is going to make America feel like our democracy is literally filled with holes and it's not supported, and we're going to feel very uneasy, and we're going to feel scared, and that's going to give these opportunities to these bad seeds to cause more confusion and more fear. And you're going to have a lot of this kind of this kind of stuff in social media where you're going to see things that aren't true. And it's 24 could really be very dicey in this way. And that's lines up with the timeline that I see with the potential of Kamala Harris becoming president, because I see Kamala Harris becoming president when the United States needs a law and order president. And I'm not saying that Biden is not a law and order president, but I am saying Kamala Harris has the energy of a Fani Willis. I put you in jail, I put you in jail. Now, I understand presidents don't put people in jail, but presidents direct their DOJ. Presidents pick their DOJ. Presidents have the energy of, I'm playing hardball, or I'm conciliatory. Biden is mostly conciliatory. Kamala Harris will not be. She will not be conciliatory regarding the left or the right. She doesn't care. You break a law, you go to jail. She's not going to be conciliatory. Now, how she becomes president is I've told you guys this many times, is that Biden steps down for whatever reason. He steps down. I don't see her winning an election, but she is president. So I'm talking about this because it dovetails with the timeline that I saw 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And what I do is I watch and wait to see when reality starts reflecting the thing that I saw, the timeline that I saw. When reality starts reflecting the timeline I saw, then I know we are going to follow that timeline. So that's why I'm talking about this. Let's move on. Sorry that took so long. Okay, Cheryl. Oh, that was Cheryl's question. Swish 99 says, will anything happen with Matt Gaetz trafficking a minor across state line, allegedly? You have to use allegedly when paying for sex. And yes, something will happen. The guides told you last year when he got off, when the Florida prosecutor decided not to investigate, the guides told you then it wasn't over. This is going to come back and bite him in his butt. And it is going to come back and bite him in his butt. For whatever reason, that prosecutor didn't want to go down that road. But now the energy is coming back around. And yes, he's going to be held accountable. I just saw him in handcuffs. So yes, he is going to be held accountable. There are many things he can be held accountable for, but as far as clear-cut law, this feels like the thing that could be the easiest thing to hold him accountable for. And again, you're going to hear a lot of hue and cry. You're going to hear, if you think that these people are calling for violence now, you've seen nothing yet. Wait till they start getting indicted. Wait till they get convicted. You're going to hear a lot of hue and cry for violence. I don't think it's going to manifest that way because by the time we get into 24, Biden and the Democrats' fantastic laws are going to be really cooking with gas, and people are going to have good jobs, and it's going to be better. Things are going to be better for the average American. So I don't feel like there's the same energy or the same potential for energy of that kind of outbreak of violence. And again, this is also why I think that the Democrats, Jan 6, all of these things took this long to get here. Because if the average American citizen is doing okay, they're not going to be a lot less likely to go out and get into some kind of violent protest. So again, the cure shouldn't kill the patient. You think about all this time we've been on chemo. We've been shrinking the tumors, right? So now we can deal with it in a much more manageable way. Okay. And now that's why Matt Gaetz didn't get rung up a year ago, because we were unstable. Florida was unstable, more unstable than we are now. So that's why ringing him up towards the end of the year, something could happen this month. September is a big month. It's just a big month. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people got indictments this month, because it is a big month. I feel like there could be Congress people getting indictments this month. So he might get an indictment this month, but I feel like this, well, I almost said the word RICO. Susan was trying to say, I feel like this alleged trafficking thing is going to pop in December, but out of my mouth I said, I feel that this RICO thing is getting ready to pop. So it's getting ready to pop September, October. There you have it. So when I'm translating what the guides are saying, it's like they give me the information about 30 seconds in advance. And usually that gives me 30 seconds to put it into words and spit it out of my mouth. But sometimes the speed at which they give me things speeds up and I can't keep up. So that's what happened. And when it comes out like that, it's usually 100% accurate. So RICO, mark your calendars. RICO, September is RICO month. And it's my birthday month. So happy birthday to me and everybody else that has a birthday in September. All right. That's exciting. Also October. I mean, October has energy too. But man, September is big. Again, the middle of September. Now I'm kind of going to the 10th, but I've been telling you guys, like, somewhere in the middle of September, 10th to the 20th to the 18th. Surprise indictments. Not only just, it could be anybody. It could be Fani. It could be Jack Smith. It could be something coming out of Tish James. It feels like any of these people have their energetic gun loaded and ready to, send out a big announcement. Okay, I'm going to move on. Karen Holgerson says, will the GOP be able to remove Fani Willis? Or will she be able to complete her RICO case against 45 et al., 45 and gang? This is, okay, let me see if I can clear my head and because I need to really get Susan out of this whole thing. Okay, because you asked too many different questions. Okay, the first question I need to ask specifically is, will they be able to remove Fani Willis? I hear no. Is there a timeline? Because then I heard a yes. I heard a big no and a little yes. I hear a big no. Okay, will they remove her? They might not be able to remove her before the RICO. They might remove her after the RICO. They might be able to remove her after she does her job. Even if they remove her, the case still goes before the court. It's just a matter of how it's played out before the court. Yeah. I mean, somebody did ask this question. I mean, there is real energy, real and serious energy around just gutting our judicial system. It's happening in our democracy. It's happening right now in Tennessee, right? In the state house of Tennessee. So I just had this whole conversation with them where they showed me that, so in the state house of Tennessee, the two Justins and Gloria, the three Democrats that have really been pushing back against the Republicans in the state house of Tennessee, they literally closed the vote down and kicked everybody out, which is not legal. So you have these people doing things that are not legal, and they're getting away with it because the system of checks and balances is also co-opted. It's not strong enough. It's not working. The checks and balances are broken. So the fact that they showed me that means something, because I'm talking about Fani Willis, not about Tennessee. So the fact that they showed me that means something. So let's see. If let's switch to your second question. Will she be able to complete her RICO case? Yes. I don't know, you guys. I feel sick to my stomach. That's not good. I don't know. You can see my face is flushed. I feel sick to my stomach. Why is that? Why do I? They just said everything is going to be okay. Calm down, Susan. They're like, oh, shit. Our human has overheated. Our human is overheating. That's hilarious. Oh, God. They're like, everything's going to be okay. All right. All right. Good. Thank you for telling me everything's going to be okay. Okay, they're updating their statement. This is why they irritate me. They're updating their statement from everything is going to be okay to everything is as it should be. Everything is happening as it should be. Sort of also everything is happening to plan, as to plan. Okay. So what they're saying to me and you is that the plan, again, remember when I told you guys that Fani might flip, she might give somebody a get out of jail free card. And remember how the guide said, we might be upset about that, but we're not privy to, or we're not seeing these 5 other things that are happening that are more important than this little get out of jail free card. So it's very similar to this energy. If something goes awry, it's for the best. It's again, the human part of me is like protesting, but because if they do something so egregious, and this would be, on an order of magnitude more egregious than the Tennessee State House thing. If they do something so egregious, it'll go to the Supreme Court, and it'll give Americans, it'll give citizens a chance to fix things for once and all. In the last video, they talked about how things were under the rug, and we were just operating like in la 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 land, like we were all walking around like, oh, life is so great, not realizing that we were walking on this ground in which underneath everything was rotten. Everything was rotten, and we were getting ready to fall in. Our base, our stability was not what we thought it was. It was all mirrors. It was smoke and mirrors. And now what the guides are saying is, if we fall in, if our floor breaks and we fall through the floor because it's rotted, we have no choice but to fix it. Do you understand? Yes, that's an extreme. That would be an extreme situation. But if it happens, it's for the best, because then we can no longer deny. They're saying we can no longer deny that there's a problem. So if they remove Fani Willis, they got a fight on their hands. We're talking about federal oversight. We're talking about we're talking about bigger court cases. We're talking about Jack Smith walking in and saying, hey, Fani, thanks for doing this for me. Go get a coffee. I'll take care of this. And Jack Smith rolls his sleeves up. I see him pushing his sleeves up. And there's this sense of grabbing your forearm, and dealing with these people. So if these idiots are so have so much hubris that they think they can remove a prosecutor and throw this case, they will be rung up on their own charges. And I don't see the governor doing this. I don't, again, they're showing me this picture again of dumb and smart. And the line is criminal. Here's the line. Dumb people cross the criminal line. Smart people don't. So some of these people are going to say, yeah, I don't think so. I'm not going to get involved in that, because they know they're going to be criminally liable. Will there be some that cross the line? Yes, there will. We saw them with Trump. It's the same energy. This same energy is replicating everywhere. It's the same energy. I'm above the law. I'm a chosen one. I will be saved. Someone will walk in and save me because I'm above the law. Well, that was, 2016, honey. It doesn't fly these days. You're not going to be above the law. You're going to be held accountable. There's a new sheriff in town. His name is Jack Smith. So that's what I see. That was a big, long thing. But I dive into these things and I go where the guides take me. And God only knows where that is. Okay, so let's move on. Anna G says, do we see Gavin Newsom pivoting to run against Biden in 2024? No, we do not see that. However, I will say that there's a reason, Anna, that you're picking up on Gavin Newsom's energy, and that's because his energy is big. He's everywhere. The guides have talked to you guys about this. You guys have asked before, maybe a month ago. Gavin Newsom, the guides said, they're reminding me, you have clout. You have political clout. Okay. Think of that as political money. You have political money, you spend it. You only spend your political money when you're going to get something. So, meaning, if you're not running for office, you're not spending your political money. You're not going out in being very visible. Because when you're visible, you become a target. And then you draw attention, not always good attention, and then you got to fight. So if you're not going to run for something, you're going to be kind of quiet because you don't want to draw bad attention or good attention. You just want to be chill. When you've got stakes, i.e., you're running, then yeah, you're going to be spending that political capital. You're going to be running. You're going to be talking. You're going to be, working or fighting against whoever is coming at you. So why is Gavin Newsom everywhere? Why is he literally everywhere? Well, part of that is he's a proxy. Part of that is that Biden, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because Trump is using a proxy. He'll be using proxies because he's going to be muzzled. He's going to use proxies to say what he wants to say because he can't say it. Right now, we're in a proxy war against Russia with Ukraine. We're supporting Ukraine. We're not fighting Russia directly. NATO isn't fighting Russia directly, but we're all supporting Ukraine. That means that we are proxy. We're in a proxy war. And here we are here with Gavin Newsom being a proxy for Biden. Gavin Newsom is going around. He's pumping up the Democratic Party. He's pumping up the Democratic message. He's pumping up the Democratic, what is that? What they're showing me? Visual. It's a different word for visual, but their image. He's shining up the image. He's going around, beating his chest and sending out information and energy about, isn't the Democratic Party great? Now, is he drawing critique? Yes. Is he drawing energy, bad energy? Yes. But he's drawing it, not Biden. Okay. Now, is he doing this out of the goodness of his heart? No, he's not. I mean, I think he's a good guy. I like the guy, but I mean, come on. We all got to have equal energy exchange here. So yes, he is also, they're showing me polishing his brand. He's also really, I just get this sense of like a fluffed up chest. He's really standing in his power. And that is going to make Democrats nervous. It's going to make people feel like he is going to run against Biden. Perhaps also I got this earlier, that he could, quote unquote, smell blood in the water, meaning that he may have an inkling that Biden is going to step down, and he may be trying to make his case known to be the VP, because if Biden steps down, Kamala is going to get she's going to get the presidency. And I think it's my understanding, I did find this out, but now I don't know. I think it's my understanding that Kamala picks her VP. But if she doesn't, then we need someone who the Democrats all feel good and can rally around. So it's almost like he's running for something, isn't it? So he could be running for VP, for Kamala's VP. So that's what I think is going on with him. Some of it is doing Democrats a favor. Some of it is polishing his own image, his own star. And some of it is positioning. So, but I don't see him running against Biden. Nobody's going to run against Biden for once. And thank God, the Democratic Party is all on the same page, including our own progressive wing is on the same page. They understand the stakes are too high for infighting. The stakes are too high for anything less than coherence or cohesion of standing as one. So I don't see anybody running against Biden. Okay, thank you for your question, Noah, and I understand how you got there. Ursula White says, will changes be made in the next 5 years for Medicare or Medicaid Advantage to include realistic dental, vision, and hearing benefits for seniors? You have to be careful about words like realistic with the guides. Let's say increased dental, vision, and hearing benefits for seniors. Yes, the answer is yes. And actually, I have even better news for you. I see in a complete and total overhaul of Medicare and Medicaid. that's going to include just a lot more things. Actually, they're showing me some sort of nutrition assistance for those seniors that have been diagnosed as having some sort of nutritional deficit. They'll actually get nutritional assistance, like Boost, like those drinks or something. Overhaul, a complete overhaul, and also a rebranding. I don't know why that's important, but there's like a rebranding of Medicare, Medicaid. It's meant to help the image of Medicare, Medicaid, of not being a handout. Also, this could start under the Biden administration, because I wanted to say Biden will be working with a private-public combination where he goes to these industries, whoever makes Boost, whoever makes certain things, and these industries are going to be persuaded to give seniors product. I mean, free product, free, FREE product, every month or every maybe 3 months. You'll get an allotment every 3 months, and it's not going to be like everything you need, but it certainly is going to offset some of the money those seniors would be spending on those same products. So I also see just an overhaul. That donut thing that you guys have where you fall in and then nothing is covered is ridiculous, right? I think they're going to redo that. Now some of this is in 24 because Biden is there. But as we go into 24, because you know how legislation takes forever. So maybe this legislation is even, I feel like it's initiated in 24. And then I feel like it kind of gained steam in 25. And I think it really gets past 26 through 28. So that's your 5 years. But it's a complete overhaul where you're just not going to have this crazy coverage, no coverage. It's just going to be planned completely differently. And there's a lot of, again, they just keep talking about nutrition, sustenance, food. It's not only just dental, vision, and hearing. It's really more about preventative care. There's big changes coming, big changes. And it's not going to cost you any more. What is going to happen again is that the lower socioeconomic groups are going to pay the same or less, but higher socioeconomic groups will pay more. But I don't see more than $20 or $30. It's not like a huge amount. And I see that the people that pay more feel that they're getting more for their money. They feel it is a value. I do not see people grumbling. So overall, I see really good things. Let me move on to Denise G. Says she wants to know the outcome of the Attorney General Paxton's impeachment trial in Texas Senate, an eventual federal trial. Now, this is important for all of us because when we have crooks in Tennessee and crooks in Texas and crooks in Florida and crooks in states that hold state office, what we're doing is perpetuating this energy. We're perpetuating this energy of they are above the law and they can get away with things. And it perpetuates the energy of our system of checks and balances is broken. So Attorney General Paxton in Texas has been federally indicted. And this man won re-election. This is just how crazy it is. And he's been federally indicted for years. And he's been able to escape a court date because our system of checks and balances is broken. And because the energy has changed. So there's something to point out here is because the system of checks and balances has broken. Oh, we've talked about this to you before. This is a free will planet, and of course, it's never going to be in balance. Okay, never. It's never going to be utopia or nirvana. Check your ticket. Go find your Earth ticket. If you ended up in the wrong place, when you cross over, fix it. But for right now, it's always out of balance. Okay. However, when Earth energy gets so out of balance, there's sort of like this metric, this sort of like it should stay within this amount. When it gets way out of balance, our energy sends, it's like the Earth wobbles. It's like our energy wobbles. Instead of being this really tight kind of energy, it kind of gets, and when our energy wobbles, our Earth energy wobbles, it sends out a disruptive energy to other existences. When we send out disruptive energy to other entities, other existences, we're messing up their life. We're messing up their world. We're messing up their vibration. You can have your own party in your house, but when the noise gets so loud that the neighbors are complaining, then they call the universal police. So what you see happening now is that there's energy here making people. Somebody asked a question in these questions about Giuliani, like, why is he doing things against his own best good? Why is Trump doing things against his own best good? Why don't they just shut up? Why does Trump incriminate himself all the time? It's almost like they've taken in some kind of truth serum. And they can't help it, right? They just can't help doubling down on stupid. Hello, that's the energy. That's the energy. The energy is sort of encouraging these people to do this because we need to flush them out of our system, because they're the reason why our universe, our world, our Earth is like rolling down the universal highway like we got a flat tire. You know what I mean? Like our energy is all jacked up. So they've given you many analogies, the cancer, the chemo, right? All these analogies. But there is a bigger energy here that's making these things happen. So my point is that, so why would Attorney General Paxton be federally indicted, get reelected, and then spend 4 or 5 years sort of evading indictment? And now why, out of the clear blue sky, would the state of Texas Senate impeach him? All of a sudden, this guy's been a crook, allegedly, for all these years. But all of a sudden, right now, Texas is like, yeah, we can't deal with this. What is this? We don't want this. We're going to impeach this guy. Why now? Because the universe, because the popo is here. The spiritual popo is here. Maybe you call it karma. That's cool. Karma's here. Karma's like, you got to go. You got to go. You got to go. So they're going. So will Paxton's impeachment trial in Texas and eventual federal trial, what's the outcome? The outcome is he's gone. The guides told you too. So Paxton's wife happens to be a senator, a Texas state senator, and she wouldn't recuse herself in the Senate trial against Paxton. She said, no, I'm not going to recuse myself. Again, the checks and balances are broken. This is this man's wife. Of course, she's going to vote for him. So now all of a sudden, she's saying she is going to step down. She isn't going to vote. So it's the energy. The outcome is he's toast. He's gone. He's out of the Senate. I mean, he's out of the Texas government. He's no longer going to be AG. He's the highest attorney in Texas, and he's criminally indicted by the FBI, by the feds. See, we're not woke up. We're walking around on this ground and it's rotten and we're about to fall through. we can smell the rot coming out. We're like, what's that smell? But we ain't doing nothing about it. So Spirit's coming in to help us. So yeah, he's gone. He's gone. They just said he's gone. Gone. I don't know. Is he in jail? Is he gone? Is he crossed over? Doesn't matter. They said it doesn't matter. He's out of your hair. Okay, there's your answer. Thank you, Denise. Things are going to get really ugly for him because his Senate trial, he's been impeached in the Texas House. He's going to before the Senate trial. And the feds are right behind that. They're right behind that. I feel like the Texas Senate wants to get rid of him. Again, there's this sense of you are causing too much trouble for me. You're bringing the spotlight onto me, and I don't want that. So you and your spotlight need to go, right? Okay, let me move on. I'm going to do one or two more questions, and then might do a part 3. We'll have to see how it goes. Brenda 9939 says, is there a master plan behind the scenes to have violent events happen in scattered parts of the country so they do not seem to be related? So your question is there a master plan, first of all? And your second question is, are these master planners spreading the stuff out everywhere so that we don't know there's a master plan? There's groups like these militia people. There's those groups. They've pretty much been sidelined. I mean, they're still active, but nothing like they would have been. The DOJ has really cracked down on them. Many of them that were connected to Jan 6 are now in prison. A lot of them are getting sentenced like this week. Some of the Tario, some of the biggest ones are going down like this week, are getting sentenced. So, they kind of cut the head off of the snake, if you will. So those groups are marginalized is what the guides want to say. Now, I'm not saying they're not a problem, but they're much, much less of a problem. Again, go back to the chemo. They shrunk the problem, right? So now so those groups have a master plan, right? They do. They want to. It's about the replacement theory. It's about the fact that these white men are being replaced and they don't like it. And they want to go back to Jim Crow. They want to go back to you people that look like this, you go over here. We're going to stay over here. And let's just literally get rid of anybody who's gay or trans. So that's what they want. Okay. So on the flip side, the DOJ is doing his job. I mean, they're trying to catch these people. They're trying to be in the chat rooms. They're watching the chatter. They're on the dark web. They're really working overtime trying to stop this. Okay, the last question is, Lisa Yeager wants to know, is Lindsey Graham's political career over? Yes, his political career is over. He wants it to be over. He's ready. He's ready to get out of this boiling pot that he's in because he's in real hot water. But it's not his choice. Again, I don't want to go deep again because all of these things are deep. It's not his choice. I talked about this in the past. These people are puppets. Grassley did not want to run again. He didn't. He publicly stated, I don't want to run again. And he ran again. And he's doing bad things because he is not operating a free will. He is owned. Allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. Mitch is owned. Lindsey Graham is owned. Now, Mitch isn't owned so much as Mitch is just evil. He's just evil. He believes this stuff. Lindsey Graham doesn't believe it. You can see it. If you watch him talk, he'll say how bad Trump is or how bad this is. I mean, yeah, he's a Republican, but he's not that crazy. It's just that he's dancing to the beat of somebody else's music. It's not what he wants. So his political career is over, but he's not capable of leaving it. He can't leave it. They will say, get back and do what we tell you to do. So that's why some of these people have to just cross over to get out of it. I mean, it's like, it's crazy. because once they're not dancing to the music of their owners, they're expendable. They're not worth anything. And they're also a liability because they know too much. It's like joining the motorcycle gang. Well, now you know all about the stuff we did. You can't just turn your name into Bob and go over there and live on Peachtree Street and have a nice life. It doesn't work like that, Bob. You could implicate us at any time. You're either with us or against us. This is the problem. And this is where Lindsey Graham is, and this is where Grassley is, and this is where a lot of them are. So when I say his political career is over, I don't think I see him existing in this realm of existence too long after he loses or gets locked up. And sadly, and I have compassion for Lindsey Graham right now, to be honest with you. And I feel sorry for him. And I would say that it would be it would be an improvement in his energy if he crossed over. He would be at peace. He's hounded, terribly hounded by these people and these energies and the control. And again, people say, well, why doesn't he just come out allegedly if he is gay? That's not it, folks. They don't have things on you that's embarrassing. The Republicans can't be embarrassed anymore. They're way past being embarrassed. They don't care about being embarrassed. They do care about going to jail. They do care about going to jail. They do care about being unalived. They do care about that. So these are the threats. The threats aren't, here's a picture of Lindsey in a dress. That's not a threat. He doesn't care. Here's Lindsey with somebody he shouldn't be with. Maybe age inappropriate, right? Jail is the threat. And now these Republicans are really, some of them are like, send me to jail. I don't care. I want off of this merry-go-round. Well, now the threat is your family, the well-being of your family, right? I mean, it's extortion. It's extortion is what's happening here, and it's violent. And so these people are not their own people. They're not their own keepers. So I don't know what to say about Lindsey Graham. It's over. His political career is over, but I don't see him living like Steve Boehner was able to get out and go live his life, right? I don't see that for some of these people. I don't see them being able to get out and retire to a normal life, which is sad. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it quits for part 2. If you're watched to the end of this video, you really do deserve a bunch of gold stars, maybe even 2 scoops of ice cream. And maybe some chocolate on top and nuts if that's your thing. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you want to see a part 3. There's a lot of good questions that I didn't get a chance to cover about Mitch McConnell and the freezing, about Tennessee, the BRIC summit, Trump and Article 14, Michael Flynn. These are all questions I didn't get to cover because the guides are freaking long-winded. So, but you guys know, if you watch me, it's a deep dive. It's not going to be a quick thing. It's going to be a deep dive. And that's just me. That's me and the guides. That's how we roll. So if you want to see part 3, let me know. Otherwise, I want you to please take really good care of yourself. Limit your intake of news. It's going to be really crazy this month. And that's going to be good things. We're going to be hearing things that we've wanted to hear, things that we've needed to hear for sure. But it also could just make you feel depressed and sad for our democracy. And that we don't want you to feel depressed and sad, because even though the patient is sick, it's on the mend. We're on the mend. The first step is admitting you have a problem, right? The first step is admitting you have a problem. Here we are. We're admitting we have a problem. So that in and of itself means that we're on the mend. Better days are coming. Okay. Better days are coming. Take really good care of yourselves. We'll talk soon. For entertainment purposes only.